perspective, since he was there on site when the order came from authorities to evacuate the building.
Right.
And again, this is not a normal situation. I mean, there are a lot of security threats, a lot of suspicious packages, but they don't always evacuate the entire building.
Well, it had never been done actually until
Tuesday.
That's right. And
Until
then
Tuesday.
Here we are. 2 days later, and it's happened again. We know that Pat McGrath, our man on Capitol Hill, as Tracy has said, is efforting information and also hoping to be able to get an interview with some of the individuals. Perhaps Joseph Lieberman was one of the individuals he was trying to get a hold of. And in the meantime, we will continue to look at some of this video here. Now you see people are starting to lighten up a little bit. They're not quite as as concerned as they were just a moment ago. But Pat McGrath is standing by now. And Pat, tell us what you've been able to find out about what's going on.
Well, I was down, Mike, at the White House with Senator Joseph Lieberman of Connecticut, who was also back from the White House, where Virginia and Connecticut and New York officials were getting word from President Bush about what kind of aid they've been given. You got back here. Well, tell me about the bomb scare first off.
Yeah, I was in a meeting of the Armed Services Committee with Secretary Wolfowitz and the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Myers. A vote went off. We went over to vote in the Capitol, and the building we were in cleared out, and obviously we can't get in a vote. So I have no idea what it is. I'll give you a hearsay rumor, which is that there were some dogs in the building in the Capitol that apparently sniffed something and acted a little bit unusual. So nobody's taking any chances these days, and nobody should.
Where does that, do you know where that occurred, where the dogs sniffed something?
Yeah, you know, somebody said in the Appropriations Committee area, but honestly, I'm hearing a rumor that's being
well, that's right.
passed around. It's been like that. I had a meeting at the Pentagon this morning that was canceled at the last minute because there was a bomb threat there. While they checked the building out, they didn't want any of us in it. We're going to go through a little of that now, but we've got to be extra careful.
Sure. But is there a sense that right now that this is just a precautionary thing and it's probably not some, imminent terrorist threat?
Yeah,
there?
Absolutely. Everybody moved quickly, unlike pre-Tuesday, to get out of the buildings. But everybody's very calm and hope to God nothing more than what we've heard.
You just came from a meeting with President Bush. Tell me a little about the meeting, but how does President Bush seem? I mean, there's been questions about how he's doing. This is a tremendously pressure-packed situation he's encountering. What did he seem like today?
I thought he seemed strong and calm, confident. He got enthusiastic, unanimous support from the bipartisan delegation that was there. I think we're shoulder to shoulder, and the will of the members of Congress, as I suspect the will of the American people, is more united and more ready to do whatever we have to do, not only to retaliate against those who attacked us on Tuesday, but to affirmatively root out terrorists wherever they are. We're ready.
Do you get any sense that there will be action soon?
No timeline, but I think the investigation is moving very quickly, and my sense is the military is preparing. But the sentiment expressed was that the President, as Commander-in-Chief, has our support, and he and his military advisors should not feel pressured to act before they think it's the right time, and they shouldn't wait. And if they think it's the right time, we're with them. We're together.
Yeah. Now, there were some members of the House of Representatives at a news conference today, and they want to pass a resolution, a formal declaration of war on international terrorism. Do you support that?
Well, it's worth thinking about, but I think we've got to think about it. We're all using the words "declare a war against terrorism," and I agree with that. But we've got to be serious about it because it's a different kind of war, because it's a different kind of enemy. And you can't declare victory after one battle. You've got to stay in there and root out these terrorists where they live before they strike us. So whatever the means to do that, we ought to come together and do it. And I wouldn't exclude something like a declaration of war.
Is that right? Okay. And now, I guess the question is, though, what is this going to mean? We're talking about long term. Are we talking possibly about a commitment of ground troops gone? We've always been loath to in any way respond with ground troops. But does this mean, if we're talking about responding to an act of war, meaning sending in troops on the ground and having possibly some conflict on the ground?
Well, in the short term, I think the initial aim is to respond and punish those who struck us so brutally on Tuesday. The President got a clear message from all of us at this meeting today that he and the military should not feel constrained about how they decide to carry out that response. And it could involve people on the ground. We're not talking about a massive operation like the Gulf War because, again, this is a different kind of enemy. The important point is to stay in there and not retreat until we can say we have claimed something close to victory against terrorism.
Okay, thank you very much. Senator Joseph Lieberman of Connecticut, the Democratic candidate for vice president in the last election. Mike and Tracy, back to you.